Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Soap, back again with a brand new video. Sorry if I look a bit tired or look like I just woke up, because I literally just did. My power went out last night, so I didn't have an opportunity, guys. So, doing another reaction video. Today's reaction is Pros Clown for 10K tourney. So if you guys didn't know, I think it was a f- some team hosted an event. I think LAG hosted an event for like just whoever wanted to play, like AM or pros wanted to play. And dude, LAG got destroyed by these challenger teams. Crazy. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but yeah, into this quick little video.
Morning guys, such a again. I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. It's finally the week of the Call of Duty World Championship. The Toronto tournament concludes last night, and with two teams playing in it from the Pro League, we thought maybe they would win, but no, nowhere near winning. Rocker or the Los Angeles Guerrillas Gento, it's getting clowned by the community as a result of what's happened over the last couple of days, maybe explaining to some degree why some of the other teams that didn't make champs elected not to compete in this tournament. Big drama as a result last night in terms of what this should mean. These amateurs getting a...
Yeah, I feel like every team should have really competed in this. I feel like every like all the challengers teams and all the pro teams should have probably competed in this to get their reps in or whatever. Especially when it comes to like the World Cup and stuff like that, with like these challengers teams, see what the talent looks like. You know what I mean? Play against the talent, see what it's like playing against them. Instead of your first time playing against them is like in a single elimination round. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me.
One up on the pros on this occasion. Yes, there may well be other reasons and factors behind this circumstance, given, the Challengers World Championship is just around the corner, but nonetheless, big implications for the state of the CDL in general, what this means for the future, and maybe some changes these teams need to look for in the very near future as well. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. Last night was a big night in esports, really, because it was the CS Major Final. The Valorant Championship was on as well.
Dude,
and
Vitality
it was an
won.
interesting moment because the COD scene has really got into
Dang,
this
brought
over
out
the
the
last few days,
Mongols.
and I'm sure that many of you guys have been on board with this as well.
I've definitely seen a lot of like
Zuma,
people that were in
guys,
that are into Call of
doing
Duty
watch
were
parties
watching
for the CounterStrike Major,
CS:GO too,
and it,
like
I mean, it was a
CS:GO
phenomenal
Major.
final. It was just a
I
great
watched
story
little bits of
to
it.
see the Mongols and Vitality play in this way. And look, we're not going to talk about the Major Final and all the, because I followed CounterStrike very heavily a few years ago, like 2018, 2019, like I was really into CS, and I followed it kind of pretty closely until roughly 2022. And I know that people have asked me over time, like, oh, you should do a channel about Counter-Strike. And look, I could. I just don't follow it closely enough to do a good job of it at the moment. And it's so global that I think it makes it more challenging as well. But there is so much happening all of the time. That is the one thing that CS does have going for it.
CS:GO has like communities everywhere across the world. Call of Duty
has seen what has happened
really.
in COD over the last few weeks, and have said, "Damn, the scene is dead."
Optic Mongolia
This week, and nothing's happened in 4
Bring
weeks.
Optic
Whereas
CS
when we were back in Dallas for DreamHack,
that'd be sick,
there was
though.
IEM Dallas
New
going
Optic,
on, the Counter-Strike tournament
team.
right there, and then a couple of weeks
Optic
later,
India.
the Major begins, and it's just concluded yesterday to 2 million peak viewers or whatever it was around the world last night, right? Crazy story, and those numbers probably don't really do the impact of this justice. Hex is talking about one of the players here. I mean, these were the scenes in Mongolia yesterday, and this was just one of like the live watch parties that was happening because the Mongols team made the final, and COD's never gonna get to this level, and that's okay, right? But I think the kind of conclusion that many in the COD scene have drawn over the last couple of days is that this is the type of thing that is possible.
I hope we get to that. Right? It just
Justin
takes.
was there yesterday.
I think
just
it
looking
takes
at the crowd, and we saw some of the
Activision staying out of the Pro League and focusing mainly on, like I don't know, focus mainly on the game and just allowing the pros and other people to really decide what happens in the CD. I think having Activision being so entangled in it kind of ruins, because it comes less of like how to make the fans happy and to more about how to make them money.
The impact of this over the last couple of days as well. This is the type of thing that esports is possible to achieve. And as Parasite says, like, these guys are fans of the game. At the end of the day, the COD scene is not built on fans of the game itself. It is to some degree. Like, I loved COD back in the day. Is it the same game as it used to be? No.
Dude, I was watching the Pro League for a year when I wasn't even
for the
playing
personalities in COD,
Call of Duty,
the scene
bro.
wouldn't really
I was
be
playing
anywhere. And that's
Valorant.
true to some degree in
I was
CounterStrike
watching
as
this-
well.
I was
But
watching the
they have the
CDO.
advantage of having a great game. And COD's never going to be CounterStrike. You know, it is what it is. And that's okay. I think the point that, you know, many would try and make is that, look, if CounterStrike is the absolute S+ tier of where esports can be, then, you know, COD shouldn't be happy with being way down the pecking order, right? Like, we can at least try some of the things that CS has done to succeed. And it is frustrating to look at what CS has and has had for years. And look, the circuit over there works in a very different way. This tournament was a blast. You know, this was run by Blast.
CSGO has been super popular since like the very beginning.
Right? PGL.
Like even whenever it was like
ESL Faceit
Source,
Group, you know, now owned by the Savvy Gaming Group in Saudi, right? So,
crazy,
you know, there's a few interesting
like back in the
opponents
90s, people there was
but
like
it's very evident
they were doing
they run an open
stadiums like
circuit
this for the
format.
Pro
There's
League. I'm
lots
pretty
happening
sure.
all the time. There's a few different circuits
Like,
in
dude,
play,
they were
and everything
CS:GO's always been
works. And
CounterStrike, CS:GO, whatever game, whatever iteration of the game you want to call it. This has always been super popular.
As it were, Microsoft of the Call of Duty side. Yeah, they put up the prize pools for the World Championship, effectively the majors, right, and stuff like this, as they do in COD, but they also make a hell of a lot of money out of it because they've got the whole stickers market and the skins industry and all of those elements that make Valve a hell of a load of money off the esports product. But think of the buzz that this major created over the last few days. You've got phantom scenes that don't even watch Counter-Strike, starting to watch CS and get into it and becoming fans of the scene, and will probably go on to watch more CS. And, like, I don't know, when the major happens, there's so much excitement around CS. I've not followed CS.
Yeah, it's honestly crazy how many people from different like games and different scenes and different communities within gaming were watching the CS:GO major, watching the Austin major, or just getting into CS. Dude, it's crazy, man. Like that shows that CS has something that other esports just do not have, and other esports need to look at this and model their majors, their tournaments around what they're doing. Even if it means copying them, but like, bro, if they're copying, who cares, bro? Like, I think all esports should be like this.
Closely for the last couple of years, but every time there's a major, I end up playing a bit more CS, right? Like, I end up getting the coin and trying to do the pick'ems, like this type of stuff, almost always. And I don't know if I myself playing like more CS as a result after the tournament because of all the buzz that it generates. And I think that's also true in COD to some extent. You know, Champs is on.
We're gonna skip ahead a little bit.
Quite the major, but there was a tournament that concluded last night, going into next weekend's COD Champs. So we'll see how it compares, right? I mean, obviously we've just had the Valorant Masters in Toronto conclude last night. We've just had the CS major in Austin.
That team is insane.
Last night. This weekend,
I know Exceed. That's a bad day. I know Exceed, and that's the only person I'm
about here when it comes to this upcoming tournament. But yeah, Rocker, they bombed out of this Toronto tournament yesterday. We obviously talked about Kenny and the boys
also, 5 Fears is an older
5 Fears, and then they simply refused to play or something. I don't even know. There's still no explanation for why.
I didn't know they had. They probably just made a challengers team. I'm pretty sure.
But they decided to. With respect to Los Angeles Guerrillas Gentle,
they picked up some good players.
They did at least play out the tournament. We'll get to that in a second. And yeah, it was a great tournament.
Yeah, it was Toronto that hosted it.
And the grand finals was mega. I know that it was maybe in some sense unfortunate for Toronto because they ran the tournament here while the CS major.
They have some pretty good like online.
There was other mega days in esports, and it's like, okay, look, am I going to tune in to watch a couple of amateur teams play grand finals of this, or am I going to tune in to watch, you know, one of the biggest tournaments of the esports year in the CS major? You know, it's a bit of a question mark, right? But you know what I'm saying anyway. I think they did a great job putting this on. I hope we can see more of these, and I hope that at least there was some interest and buzz around this AMD tournament. And I do also hope that in future, the more pro teams play. Now, I don't know if that will be the conclusion the pro teams take, because you look at this tournament in hindsight, you know, has it been beneficial for Rocker?
Team
Has
Notorious.
it been beneficial for Gentlemate? No. You know, they lost, right? And it wasn't looking good. And as
Did
a
they
result,
just pick up a team? Oh, yeah, they got Afro.
Not substantially so. They're still
Boom,
going to go
F-Dot.
to, you know,
I don't know who the bottom
World
guy
Cup,
is.
but this was meant to be an opportunity to get some practice in against some well-practiced amateur teams going into Champs.
For LAG
And
had
I
a
think
way
they've
better
pretty much
KD.
proven
It's
that
still
the gap
off.
between the bottom pro teams and the top amateurs
They barely
is
lost
either not really
map 2 and
existing
map
much at all,
4.
or what is
Not
in
three,
reverse, right, in some regard. So
they probably just weren't playing
obviously
OBJ.
worked out as it
I think
were
that's
for
just
pros,
I think that's
and
just like
kind
you
of a
not playing
frustrating
OBJ.
world
Bro.
we
If you
live in
losing
where
control,
the
but
pros
like
may in
having
future
better
decide. It seems
KDs
like
than your enemy team,
Falcons
you're
did
just not
this, or
playing.
maybe there was
You're
something
just not
else going
playing
on, and
OBJ.
Cloud9 maybe did this to say, you know what,
You're
we're
just
never going to
running
play
around
it
playing
because it's
TDM.
just going to tank our stock. What's the
You're playing
point?
it like it's
Which
pubs,
is kind
bro.
of like
you're
a
not
sad
jumping on point.
world
You're
that we
just
live
going
in,
around killing
where
it.
the pro players are like, yeah, you know, do I want to play in a $10,000 prize pool tournament, or will it hurt my stock and that's going to cost me more money in the long term? Like, it's a pretty sad world we live in where that's the case. But if I was in their position, I do get it, right? At the end of the day, you know, there's lots of these guys trying to keep their nice
player, my
cushy
team
job
was
where they get
set
to play
to
COD for 6
make
months
world
a year
champs.
and
Dude,
don't even
I'm
have
gonna
to
go
play
play
that
in
much
any
COD
little
because they
tournament
turn
I
up to the ladder
can.
and get bopped
That's
out
just
on the
because I like
first day and drink
competing
for
and
the
I
rest of the
like
weekend.
playing.
So, no, I don't know if that's
Even if I win or lose,
you know what I'm saying anyway.
like I get dropped out in the first round.
If you're on one of these weaker teams
I
in the
still
league
played. I
that are
still
never going to win,
tried. You know what I'm
you know,
saying?
you get paid a decent salary to just play COD with your boys and get slapped around every week by the top teams. Like, it's, you know, it could be worse, couldn't it? So it's understandable why some of these players, they want to keep their job in the league. And, you know, like Fellow and obviously the Gentleman's guys would play in last night. We saw the same for Kismet. None of these guys really tweeted after the fact like, yeah, we lost, it was sad, you know, sad to the fans. It's because as far as they're concerned, it wasn't really a big deal. And maybe it's not really a big deal. At the end of the day, these pro teams have been in Cancun for a month, which again is like, I don't know if they really have been, but the point is they've not been grinding, have they? Let's be honest. Have they really been putting in a shift, these pro teams that didn't make champs?
They have not been putting in any.
And I get it, right? The World Cup's a while away. But equally, it's maybe not the best we get to actually see that out there in Riyadh. I think that'd be really good. Because his team, of course, after winning this one, they rematched those guys in the finals, and they won the finals as well. They won the finals, by the way, in remarkable fashion.
Team Notorious
didn't have as good of a series here, but he still had 135 kills, and it was actually Abe who had a 1.3 in the grand finals.
Crazy,
but
bro.
instead, Notorious beat them in
I'd be
3
so mad if I was Abe.
Absolutely insane. So they played a
I know Abe, I know Exceed Fire, I know Hixie, I know Afro.
They won the Skylight.
I've seen Boom before.
And then they won the
I've seen
card
him
Game 7 6-5 as well.
So
yeah, mega result. At the end of the day, this very much could have gone either way. And yeah, the bulk of the prize pool goes.
Pretty good video, boys. The Pro League, man. I don't know. I feel like if you're a pro player, you should be competing in any little tournament that's going on. It doesn't matter if you know you're making it to champs or not. I don't think it really will affect you if you lose to like some AM teams. Like some of these AM teams are good. Like the Omit Brooklyn teams, like the Omit teams. 5 Fears, I'm assuming now, Team Notorious. Like, I don't know, just compete, bro. Like, don't be lazy, bro. Just because you're making it to champs doesn't mean you need to be lazy, buddy. But I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. This is day number 9 of the daily upload challenge. We're gonna keep on going. But yeah. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did, please leave a like, comment down below what you guys want me to play next, do next, see next, react to next. And I love you guys. Hope you guys all have an amazing night. God bless.